The World Trade Center, unmistakable in its silhouette against the sky. Its twin towers of steel, glass, and concrete reach more than 1,360 feet in the air, dominating the skyline as Manhattan's tallest structures. The pair has come to symbolize both the contemporary spirit and vitality of New York.
I believe New York's icon at the moment is the World Trade Center. It's in every major picture around the world as symbolizing New York.
I think anyone who studies it on a certain level falls in love with the World Trade Center. No matter what you think about it aesthetically, no matter what you think about it politically or culturally, no matter how you think it looks on the skyline, the fact that human beings have the ingenuity to be able to do this kind of thing is, kind of stunning and affirming in an odd kind of way.
Nothing else like this had ever been built before or since. And I think the beauty, the architectural beauty of the World Trade Center is subtle and it's easy to underestimate.
Each tower is 110 stories high, each floor an acre in size. Under each roof, 4 million square feet of space. But the towers are merely the focal point of what is an extraordinary complex of 7 buildings. In all, there are more than 12 million square feet of enclosed space.
You have to imagine a small town concentrated vertically rather than spread out over 1,000 acres. It's concentrated on a 16-acre site.
40,000 people work here. Another 2 million visit each year. And although the complex was built to be a center for international trade, the reality is that few businesses here have much to do with foreign trade. Some 325 companies, from stockbrokers to high-tech firms, share this prestigious address with the U.S. Customs House, a Marriott hotel, and Manhattan's largest indoor shopping mall.
Subway lines intersect here at the World Trade Center, so people can come in underground, never get wet, never get snowed upon, go to their office, go downstairs, do their shopping, grab lunch, come back to their office and go home underground, and you never go outside. So it's a city within a city.
And supporting the city within a city is an elaborate infrastructure, dependable and vigilant.
There's a whole building that exists inside of the World Trade Center that nobody gets to see because it's what runs the building, including all the stuff downstairs, the massive systems, electrical, air conditioning, and other, that actually allow us to sit here pretending that we're in a natural environment. Nothing could be less natural than a super tall building. Nothing could be less natural for its time than a building like the World Trade Center.
So vast is this city, the World Trade Center has its own police force and what it calls the Operations Control Center, or OCC. The department's sole responsibility is to keep this mini metropolis safe, clean, and functioning.
The Operation Control Center of the World Trade Center could be compared to the war room on board a warship. It's manned 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and they respond to crises.
The OCC can be found in the sub-basement in a series of windowless offices.
Whatever goes on here at the World Trade Center is typically coordinated through that room. If a tenant has a flood on their floor from an air conditioner overflowing, that's where they call. If the fire department needs a security guard to open up doors, they're the ones that are sending the security people with the right keys to open up the door.
More than 30,000 work orders are handled each year. The OCC monitors all emergency water and electrical systems, including the World Trade Center's immense refrigeration unit.
I was overwhelmed with the size and scope of the machinery. It was larger than the flight deck of an aircraft carrier. I mean, just huge pipes on a scale which reminds one of Gulliver's Travels, so one feels like a Lilliputian among such huge machinery.
4 basements below the Twin Towers on 2.5 acres of concrete is the heart of the World Trade Center's air conditioning system. It's a system so massive, it can filter and circulate 9 million cubic feet of air per minute.
We're roughly 60 feet below grade. We have 7
heat exchangers. They're some of the largest in the world. Each heat exchanger has a capacity of 7,000 tons.
The equipment is used to cool both towers, their sister buildings, the shopping concourse, and the subway station. The first subway station to be air-conditioned in the United States.
We bring in river water from the Hudson, and it runs through the heat exchangers and cools the water that we use for air conditioning.
Engineers of the World Trade Center had considered conventional rooftop cooling towers, but the units would have been so enormous, there was concern that they would mar the appearance of the building. The solution lay nearby. Because the complex sits by the Hudson River, cold water could be pumped directly from the river and used to cool the massive system. Today, large intake pipes provide the refrigeration plant with 90,000 gallons of water per minute.
River water is run through the system and then vented back out to the Hudson River. Of course, the Environmental Protection Agency keeps a close watch because they don't want too fierce of a temperature gradient because of the flora and fauna in the river itself.
The World Trade Center complex has 71 escalators and 254 elevators that make as many as 450,000 trips a day. The express elevators can travel at speeds of up to 27 feet per second, or 19 miles per hour.
The elevators are quite powerful. Each elevator has its own motor and its own motor generator set, generating about 480 horsepower.
In case of a power failure, the World Trade Center has 6 emergency generators. This backup system can yield 7,200 kilowatts, enough to satisfy the needs of 4,000 suburban homes. It's just enough to power an elevator bank in each tower, stairway lighting, fire sprinklers, and other emergency essentials.
In addition to that, we have now built a large diesel power plant on top of 5 World Trade Center, where we not only can provide emergency power to the facility, but we can provide emergency backup power to all of the tenants' computer needs.
Even washing the 600,000 square feet of windows of the Twin Towers requires something out of the ordinary. Something dreamed up by its architect, Minoru Yamasaki, who was afraid of heights and did not want to have workers hanging over the side while washing the building. Automatic window washers were custom designed for each tower. Attached by cable and controlled by an operator, each moves along a rail at the top of the building and down miniature tracks embedded in the exterior columns.
The window washing machines are marvelous pieces of machinery. Each one has a set of nylon brushes.
2 brushes, 18.5 inches, exactly how much is windows from 106 all the way down to the 9th floor.
And a squeegee, and a 20-gallon tank, which holds a dose of detergent. And these machines go up and down the sides of the buildings, between the columns, cleaning 1 column of windows at a time.
I clean with this machine half an hour, 100 windows for half an hour. 20 minutes going down washing, slow speed. 10 minutes comes up on fast speed. Then I move to 1 column to the other and send the washer again. For half an hour I am free. The washer does everything.
The machine takes a full day to clean 12 window columns, 5 days to clean an entire side. When one side is finished, turntables on the roof guide the machine in position for the next side.
In a month's time, it will have done all 4 sides and repeats the process. This is done just like clockwork from March to December. However, during the winter months, the operation is suspended because the water would freeze.
Every corner of this synthetic city reveals the unexpected. Underground, as congested as any street in Manhattan. A loading dock where hundreds of trucks jostle for space to unload deliveries. 1,377 feet above, on the South Tower, the world's tallest outdoor viewing platform. On clear days, visibility is 45 miles with dazzling views of New York and New Jersey. Today, the World Trade Center has become an icon for success, ambition, and Manhattan itself. We see it in ads and on television. We've become so familiar with it that it's now entwined with the New York of our imagination. And remarkably, after all this time, it continues to inspire awe.
But the sheer size of them, I think, represent a moment in history that is lost today, and that we can only look back and be impressed with the ambition and the almost heroism of the project at the time.
Uniform in color, but constantly changing with the light, the towers of the World Trade Center are among the most distinctive on the globe. To conceive something on this scale would take a diligent corps of visionaries and engineers.